Christoph, thanks very much for joining us. For those who don't know, just give a quick introduction to Deininger.
Oh, Deininger is one of the well-known German executive search and leadership advisory firms. We are now 42 years old. We always say we are mid-sized but global consulting platform. So we have 4 German offices. We are in Warsaw, Poland. We are in London, and we have 5 offices in Asia. And we are structured in industry practices, and I'm leading the real estate and construction practice.
And Christoph, from your perspective, what are some of the key things you're seeing in the market, and how are they influencing your business?
Yeah, especially in the younger generations, I see a shift in values, which has an impact on the behavior of candidates in terms of reliability and on commitment to potential employers or to current employers. And we see, especially in my industry, coming out of booming years, that candidates are sometimes a little bit saturated in terms of willingness to move to other locations for jobs, or in terms of that they have really ambitious expectations in terms of compensation packages, home office regulations, or flexibility. Titles and ranks is very important. Yeah, that also the main topics we are faced in the current market environment.
There's a lot of discussion around sustainability, ESG, diversity. Is that playing a larger role both in terms of the candidates but also the employers?
Yeah. So we see that investors, asset managers are faced by those challenges, especially ESG is a big topic in Germany. And so we see coming up new roles like ESG manager, which I did not see before. But I also see a kind of uncertainty. What does it really mean? So what are the responsibilities of ESG managers? We see the expectation of potential employers that candidates are known to those topics or have a certain knowledge of those topics. We see on the other side the expectation of candidates that potential employers are acting sustainable, that they pay attention to equal payment, and those topics. Yeah, in general, those topics are becoming more and more important in the industry on both sides.
And in terms of demand from the clients, have you seen any move away from one sector to another? For example, retail into logistics. Is that something you're tracking as well, Christoph?
Yeah. So as you have as the demand for talent in certain industry was or is also in certain market segments so high that clients needs to be more flexible in terms of hiring. For example, if you are focusing on logistics, but you need a construction manager, you have the chance to get a great construction manager out of, for example, retail. Candidate clients are more flexible in terms of also choosing those candidates. And also we have clients who are focusing more and more on other industries. So example for finance roles, or also sometimes in terms of acquisition roles that candidates can also come out of other industries. And that clients are also demanding this from us, show us talent from other more innovative industries. This is also what we see more and more.
And we've seen a growing focus from the investor side on more niche areas like senior housing, healthcare, data centers. Are you beginning to see more of an interest on the real estate and infrastructure side coming through into those areas?
Yeah, data center is a good example, or healthcare or nursing homes. It's also what we see. And then there's a higher level of specialism. So candidates need to be more specialized in certain asset classes. Micro living is a good example. Yeah, absolutely. This is what we see. In general, I would say we have from recent years, especially with the pandemic, 2 winners. This is residential, which also includes micro living and as well as logistics. Absolutely, that are the winners from my point of view. And so clients are specializing more in winning talents from those market segments.
As ever, when there's economic issues or disruption in the market, there's a focus on distressed assets. Are you seeing any rise in demand for this kind of expertise?
Yeah, but I think we are in the beginning. I expect this more in next year or probably in 2 years time, we see especially the private equity world is preparing for those topics and also start to hire talent for distressed assets and also distressed finance. And I also think, as I have done successfully a lot of work within the private equity market segment, that especially investors with an opportunistic approach will probably be faced by a high level of market chances within the next 2 to 3 years.
Really interesting to get your perspective. And thanks very much for joining us, Christoph.
Thank you.